Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to start this video off by saying it's Monday, December 30th right now when I'm recording this, and how do we only have 2 days left in the new year? In the old year, about to go into the new year? Make that make sense. I'm honestly so ready for 2025 though. I think that it's going to be a great year all around if you truly want it to be. And I'm not just saying that like, oh my God, it's a great year, it's new year, it's going to be the best you. No, like genuinely, astrologically, it's going to be a transformative year if you allow it to be. So I want to dive into a couple things that I'm doing this year or going into the new year, specifically that are going to be focusing on growth, transformation, stepping back into my power, like really honing in on who I am, who I want to continue to be, and feeling so aligned, mind, body, and soul. To start, I wrote this down last night and I want to share it with you guys. This is my journal. If you're not journaling, what are you doing? Okay? These are my words of wisdom for the new year. So let's just kick it off by doing that. Okay. As another chapter closes, a new one begins. Lessons have been learned, challenges accepted, and a sense of peace knowing all the choices I've made this year have led me to a beautiful new beginning. As you reflect on the new year, just remember a few things. It's okay if you didn't buy a new house, have a baby, get married, be in the perfect relationship, have a huge wedding, find the ideal career, and make the most money. I say all of these things because we forget there is more to life than superficial or what society believes we should already have and or accomplished. If any of those things happen for you and you're happy, then I love that for you. Remember the other things to be proud of yourself for, like waking up and choosing to get moving, healthy boundaries, personal growth, facing challenges, gratitude, and most importantly, perseverance. Think about that and go into 2025 knowing it'll be your best year yet. So, sitting on that for a little bit, I just think it's important to remember that when you're reflecting on the year that just happened, don't get caught up in everyone else's life and what they've accomplished. I know that we're seeing a lot of videos of like what 2024 brought for me, and it's a bunch of traveling and marriage and babies and houses and all of these like things that society puts on us, that it's not that it's all superficial, right? But a lot of it is kind of surface level and it doesn't go deep into how did you feel? What did you accomplish, mentally, emotionally, physically? How are you doing overall? Did you just like have to get up in the morning and go to work and that was all that you could do that day or many days after? Like, think about those things more, kind of dig below the surface a little bit and truly think about like, what did you have to do this year? I mean, I went through some hard moments this year where I was like, I don't want to get up and go to work. I don't want to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to push through and do it. And like, those were tough days. I didn't have any crazy milestones happen in my life. My husband and I haven't bought in a house or anything. We obviously don't have kids. We're pushing that kind of for maybe end of next year into that following year. So just know that if you're not there yet with society, it's okay. You're still doing an incredible job. And I want you to kind of dig deeper before you get into your vision for 2025 and give yourself so much grace and gratitude and truly like feel accomplished with you being here. If you're watching this video right now, you're alive. That's amazing. And that's something to be grateful and really cherish, because we do not get every single day to be promised to us, right? So I wanted to start off with that, a little wisdom. Okay, going into 2025, let's talk about a few things. Things that I personally love to do is pick my word of the year. If you are not familiar with word of the year, it's really just what it sounds like. Pick a word that is going to encompass the year that you want to have. So for instance, I've been doing this since 2020, so this will be my 5th word of the year. I have chosen words like limitless, freedom, growth, resilience, adventure. I think my word of the year this year, well, do I know my word of the year yet? I don't know yet. Let me think about it. I think I have a word in mind, but I want to feel like really, really good about it. So think about a word that you want to encompass a feeling of for the rest of the year. So when you're kind of going through it, right, there's going to be ebbs and flows for the next 365 days. We cannot feel and do our best every single day. So when you are in those moments of like kind of going down a little bit. Think about your word. Like, what's a word that you can come back to that's like, okay, this is what I've envisioned, this is what I encompass. It kind of brings you back to your overall vision and how you want to feel for 2025. So, word of the year, if you have not done that, go get one. Then the next thing that you want to do is kind of reflect on 2024. And I want to chat about my year of growth journal. This is important to me because, one, it looks incredible. It's by Annie. And Annie Tarasova, she is Dreamy Moons on all of her socials. Basically, I purchased her book. I purchased it once before, and I really loved what this book encompasses. So I really wanted to do something that's not really your traditional planner. It definitely has aspects of a planner, but I'm not someone that needs a full-on planner, like to plan out every single day and meetings or just like different things. I like more of like a spiritual kind of like wellness, check in with yourself, and this checks the boxes. So on the back, I'm going to read to you: a time capsule of your year, a tool to grow and evolve, a sacred space for your mind and soul, a daily diary with a focus on astrology, mindfulness, gratitude, moon journaling, intention setting, self-reflection, and personal growth. Let this book be a part of your journey into yourself. This is your year of growth. And I just love that. I love that. So in here is all different like illustrations, things that she does. This is all like hand drawn, like even just this is so beautiful. So she makes this book every year, and I want to chat about a couple things to reflect on. And you're probably going to want to pause this video after I talk about the questions so you can kind of give yourself time to actually dive into the questions, feel what you want to feel, make sure that you're truly being yourself. Like, the sky is the limit when thinking about your vision for 2025, and no one needs to read this journal, this diary, this vision board, whatever you want to call it. No one is going to read it unless you want someone to read it. So don't feel shamed for saying, like, you know, I want to save $50,000 next year, and you think that that's crazy, and if you put it on paper it's even crazier, and it's like, oh my god, how could that even happen? Then you think, like, if you're reading this to someone might judge you. Don't even tell anyone what you're writing down if you don't want to, but don't limit yourself. Anything is possible with a positive mindset, positive thinking, and truly shifting that mindset each and every day. I'm not saying it's easy. None of this is easy, okay? I just want to preface that. I'm not telling you to like write something down and it's going to come to fruition tomorrow. Like, that is not the case. You have to do the inner work and be willing to actually do the work and put like the grit in every single day. But it is possible if you want it to be possible. So just remember to really envision your life, your day-to-day, visualize that. What does that look like for you? Nothing is too extreme. Write that shit down. Write it down. So let's talk about a few things that we can do daily. So something I love to do daily is gratitude, right? So gratitude and daily journaling. And here, right, I have a journal. I don't show anyone this. I just kind of brain dump my thoughts throughout the day. At the end of the day, you could do it first thing in the morning. Honestly, whatever feels good for you. I just love to get all of my thoughts on paper. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, and that's the beauty of it. It's like, it's your journal. You could do whatever you want. But daily journaling, I definitely recommend. It's just a good stress reliever too, and it helps to put your thoughts into perspective, especially if you have a lot of jumbled thoughts. I am constantly thinking 24/7. And if I don't get that out on paper and really think about what the fuck is going on in my head, I feel jumbled. So daily journaling and then gratitude. Again, one of the simplest and easiest ways to practice gratitude daily is to write one thing you are grateful for every day in this diary or in your diary. Gratitude is great because it just lets you think about, what are you grateful for in this moment? Like, what is just one simple thing that you are doing to yourself right now, or something is happening for you, or, you know, maybe someone paid for like your cup of coffee that day and that was immense gratitude because you didn't even think that that was going to happen. It's finding those little moments in our day-to-day that make life so much more enjoyable. It's the mundane moments, okay? We don't have to have these fancy things happen to us and, you know, have a ton of money come in or save X, Y, and Z or buy a huge house. Like, all of those are great. I'm not knocking those down or anything, but I think that as a society, we too find things that are so much more elevated than they need to be, and we forget about the daily gratitude in our life, and even just waking up in the morning and feeling immense gratitude for that, because again, not every day is promised, but once you find those little things throughout your day, you start to appreciate it a little bit more. And then when the big things do happen, it's like, wow, this is even more incredible than I imagined. It's not something that feels stressful or unattainable or just hard to get to, because when you're feeling that way, to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be is going to be so incredibly difficult, because you're constantly focusing on the end goal, the final destination, but there is no final destination. Our life is a series of journeys that just ebb and flow, up and down. And if you're constantly thinking about just the final destination, right, your final goal, where you want to be, you're never enjoying the ride getting there. And who doesn't want to enjoy the ride, right? You're going along this, I think about it like this in my mind. You're traveling along the highway. You have somewhat of an end goal in mind, but it's nothing set in stone. And you're traveling along the highway and you come to a couple different stops, right? There's one stop that looks beautiful that you're like, oh, let me check that out. I didn't even know that existed. You check that out. It's amazing. It's incredible. You appreciate it for what it is in the moment. And then you get back on the highway and you're traveling again, right? And all of these different stops are leading you to your destination. It's not just a straight cut through. You can't just go a whole, 24 hours, 24 days, whatever it might be, like straight through to your destination. The destination might be a smaller destination, right? And you might not have that many stops to get to it. But at the end of the day, the bigger goals are going to take a little bit longer. And if we can't enjoy the moments leading up to that, we're never going to feel like we have accomplished anything leading up to that bigger goal, because it's going to feel so unattainable that we're like drowning within our thoughts and our mind. So I hope that makes sense. I'm a very visual person. So these are the things that I think about or that pop up into my mind when I'm like, oh, hey, this is how to get to X, Y, and Z, but this is the way that we're going to do it, instead of feeling like I have to hit this all at one, chunk and like try to get to this goal as quickly as possible, versus just kind of going with the flow each and every day, right? Every day brings something new, and I get there a little bit more every day. And that's a little bit more attainable in my mind than jumping right to the end goal. I hope that makes sense. That's just how my mind works. Okay, so some other questions that I want you to kind of go through. So we are going to start with a summary of 2024. And I'm reading this through from my year of growth. However, I'm going to share a creator that I saw on TikTok yesterday do something incredible. I thought incredible. And I will tag her if she's on YouTube, but if she's not, I'll just put her handle so you can find her on TikTok. She talks about her basically like year of growth for like 2025 and kind of a diary format, or I should say her dream life story for 2025. I think that's how she worded it, through Chat GPT. So she gives you like a series of questions to ask Chat GPT, and it's going to bring you through a whole, 10 different questions, very, detailed, give as much as you can. And then that's going to create your dream life story for 2025 in such a beautiful way. It's actually incredible. I was blown away by doing this yesterday. So I've already done all of this, but I am going to still write in my book kind of a little bit more in detail, because I do love pen to paper. I think that brings it out a little bit more of like making your goals even more of a reality, because you're writing it down and you're, putting it, what thoughts are in your mind, you're putting that on paper. But this dream life story was so spot on, the way that ChatGPT like took all of my questions and answers, put them into a beautiful like kind of paragraph, a story. What am I saying? It's dream life story. And then they give you a daily affirmation for 2025, which I thought was also incredible and so specific to your goals. Then at the end, you ask ChatGPT to put all of that into a letter that you want to send yourself on December 1st, 2025. And this letter, because it was saying to your future self, love your past self. And it's like, everything is in the present moment. Wow, we did it. You did this, you did that. It was incredible. You've killed it. Like talking so beautifully. And she said, if that does not make you feel some type of way, emotional, give you like goosebumps in a way, then you have to get more detailed with your questions. And so that's why I'm telling you, nothing is off limits. Talk as if it's already happening. Your dream life is already here and waiting for you. And when you wake up tomorrow, everything comes true. That's how specific you need to be. And the letter was beautiful. I put the letter in an email and I scheduled it for next year to myself. So I will see this on December 1st, 2025. And I think it's just going to be such a beautiful reminder of where I am now to where I want to be at the end of next year. And, you know, we don't have to accomplish everything at the end of the day, but it's going to be really cool to see my growth towards whatever my big goals are. So I will post her like Instagram handle or TikTok handle, I should say, in the caption and like comments of this. And if you have TikTok, I would highly recommend going and checking that out. So basically, you want to do a summary of 2024. Okay, so close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and take a few deep breaths. Take yourself on a mental journey through your year. What you did, where you've been, who you've met, all of your favorite moments and hardships and accomplishments. Write down a summary of your year. I'm also going to put all of these questions and things to think about in the body of this like caption or whatever, so that way you can kind of reference it back to. You don't have to listen to the whole entire video if you don't want to. Okay, goodbye 2024. Another incredible year of growth, adventure, love, and magic went by. Get cozy, grab your cup of tea. Let's dive into your reflection. Biggest lessons learned in 2024. So you're going to take 3 lessons that you've learned in 2024 that seem really big and significant for you, and you're going to write those down. Then we're going to go on to saying, I think 2024, you're going to come up with your answer. In 2024, I overcame, whatever that might be. When I think about 2024, it makes me feel, whatever that is. 2024 in one word. And then you're going to say how I grew spiritually and or emotionally. And then it's time to welcome in 2025. And I feel like this is the start of something so magical that we're going to make it into a part 2. I have a lot to say on 2025, but I'm going to put all of those questions and things that I've referenced into the comments, and then I will link that woman's TikTok as well. I believe her name was Katie Weeds or Wides. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I'm probably not. So I'm going to put all of that in the comment section for you. You guys can reference it, leave a comment if you have any questions, and yeah, it's time to get really pumped up for 2025 because I have a feeling it's going to be the most magical year yet. Love ya.